Well, what's to it?
Beautiful. Has anybody ever seen anything so beautiful as that valley? Those mountains. Mr. Banning?
A month ago, someone had said Zweibergen to me. I just had said, who? But now, where am I? Just outside the village of Zweibergen, at the delightful villa rented by the Vault. The most delicious view in all the world. And the prospect of some divine meal to be served in the open air.
Come and see round the villa before you take it for granted. It's beautiful. And as for the cooking...
Bright sun, the song of the birds, high and remote. The year 1926. Europe, Zweibergen. Those are the facts that just a few people can never forget, and would give anything to forget. They were happy that day, very happy. The Vaughns, Eric and his American wife, and their visitor, Louis Banning. 3 civilized people had met together in a remote place. It was natural that they should wish to spend longer in one another's company. They were happy that day. But terror killed the laughter.
Ever believe it possible. Oh, that lovely sun, green valley. And now...
Looks like something out of a Wagnerian opera.
Oh, Mr. Banning, we really do apologize. After we boasted so much to you about a little place perched up here in so heavenly a spot.
Now, please don't blame yourself, Mrs. Vaughan. Who can control the elements?
I'll tell you one thing. Those 2 poor beggars who were lost will be pretty miserable in all that.
Oh, Eric, you know the weather can't possibly worry them anymore now. They can't be alive.
But cheers.
Cheers.
Kyle says there's no hope for them. Been missing a week now.
In that forest? Well, if you want to believe they're alive, believe it. But how could they be, Eric?
I don't know the details.
Well, not much. The first chap belonged to a little village about 10 miles away. He was coming back from a short climb in the mountains. It was already dark. Probably fell into a drift or something, who knows. A shepherd camping on one of the lower Alps said good night to him. Saw him going to the trees on the way down. That was it. The other one apparently was one of the search party who went out the following day. Darn shame that. And he'd been posted as a stop while the rest of them beat the woods towards him. When the line of beaters reached his place, he wasn't there. Never seen again.
Well, everyone in the village suspects wolves. There's been no shooting since 1914. They're coming back, the wolves. Lots and lots of them.
Before the war, all sorts of rich people, Hungarians mostly, they used to shoot the forest. They're all gone now. Of course, the whole of the eastern Carpathians aren't as remote as they were 10 years ago.
If wolves had snatched these men...
Yes, of course, the traces. Blood. Something. One theory, of course, is that both of them grew tired of the old domestic routine and just vanished.
There speaks the cynic.
On their way to the Argentine by now. Who's finished the drink?
Is that what you really think?
Well, why not? The wolves aren't intact. No sign of a struggle. If those chaps have been killed, it might have been by something prowling about, waiting for its chance. And there isn't anything. What do you think, Banning? Whether you believe my darling wife with the dark, Slavic eyes, or me, cool, calm, and detached, cynical if you like, depends on whether you're going to return to the village Or have a bed here.
I don't fancy going back tonight, I must say. Then fill up.
Oh, Mr. Banning, we're delighted to have you stay. Take his glass, Eric, and make it full right up.
No, I don't want to get drunk, please.
After his stay with the Vaughns, Louis Banning had no more taste for a lonely holiday, so he did the next best thing. He took an active interest in the life of the village. He heard all the gossip, for he was staying in the general clearinghouse, the village inn. Evening found him with the local magistrate.
He was my friend, my very good friend, Mr. Banning. For years we have obtained our provisions from him.
Really? Frightening.
Yeah, as you say, this is frightening. And most of us are frightened.
No trace? No sign? It's ridiculous.
He climbed up through the forest. It was not completely dark yet. He hoped to kill the small brown bird. In English, the name is not familiar. Huh? However, no matter, as I could eat him, he did not return. One single shot was heard near to 10:30. Nothing more. Mr. Bannon, you and your friend, the other Englishman, the one with the beautiful wife.
Vaughan, yes?
Mm-hmm. I would like you to help us. Mr. Vaughan is, I believe, a hunter of repute, no? Please, what can we do?
Oh, I'd be honored to help. Shall I see Mr. Vaughan? I'd no idea he was a hunter, but... Well, I'll climb up there first thing in the morning. And
Otherwise, friend Banning, what are we to do? Must we wait until the whole village is shorn of its men?
First thing in the morning.
Eric Vaughan was one of those surprising Englishmen whom you may know for years without realizing that once there were colored men in Africa, or Burma, or Borneo, who knew him still better, and drove game for him, and acknowledged him as someone juster than their gods, but no more comprehensible. Vaughan knew something about tracking, and he spoke with confidence about guns. Banning could shoot tolerably well, and so he decided to try and be of some use, because fear had settled by now like a cloud upon Zweibergen. That morning they took roughly the same path the grocer must have followed.
What? Have you noticed there are no birds? None.
Someone's turned aside from the path here.
I wonder why. Big rock up there. White. Like a sentinel. Who dashed off the path through a thicket?
When you know you're being followed, you like to have a clear space around you. It's comforting to be on top of that rock with a gun in your hands. If you got there in time. Let's go up.
See? Scrub. All been pushed aside. Strange out here. Yeah. Look at that tree. Oh, look.
The top, to where they'd climbed, was bare stone, with clumps of creeper and ivy growing from the crannies. Set back some 3 yards from the edge was a little tree growing in a pocket of soil. One side of its base was shattered into slivers. It had received a full charge of shot at close quarters.
The bird she sees at last. The silence is broken.
Hey, look at that. Blood.
Blood? Just a drop.
Yeah, see? Someone most likely was killed or wounded.
Fell, discharging the gun which shattered the little tree here. Where's the body? Oh, there's no body dragged away in that direction. Whoever left that blood obviously wasn't too badly hurt. Got away again. His own 2 legs. Let's go back.
Interesting, but what does it tell us?
Well, nothing definite yet. Although I no longer suspect wolves, or... Not that I ever did. The most likely...
Is appeared into
No, quite. Some kind of foul play.
Show me his body. Show me any motive for killing him.
It could still be an animal, Vaughan. I mean, the blood. Fresh. Pretty fresh. The gun blast. In fear after sudden fright.
The whole countryside, she has been beaten. It's a wolf. We should find the remains. A bear? They are quite harmless, as they don't take men. Mr. Ford, I must tell you something. Once upon a time, a long time ago, Joseph Weiss, not the present Joseph Weiss, no, his grandfather, he once fired in the woods, point blank at a gray wolf. The biggest gray wolf he had ever seen. Point blank. But the wolf ran away. And again he met the animal. The same thing happened twice more, 3 times more. He shot at it, but never killed it. Not until he loaded his gun with silver. The beast vanished after the shot, but Heinrich, the cobbler, was found dying in his house with a beaten silver dollar in his belly.
Oh, superstition. I mean, it was a long time ago.
No, gentlemen. No, superstition, no. But it was a long time ago, it is true. Friend, will you continue to help us? Will you assist us and find for us what is taking our people?
Yes, we'll assist you, sir. With pleasure. Three men, taken soundlessly. No trace of the bodies. Just the broken tree. A lot of blood. Unless the 3 men had something in common, or a common enemy. It's got to be some animal, but what? What could be so clever?
A werewolf.
Oh, Louis, please.
A drink, Louis. The night's terrible.
Not just now, thanks, Cyrus. Look, I don't say a man could change himself into a wolf. I know why he'd want to, though. I wonder, what does it feel like?
As if the woods had got under your skin, and you want to walk wild and crouch at the knee.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry.
Yes. Your stupid stories and fairy tales. I'm going to bed.
Cyrus! Never know. Feel as if the woods were under your skin. You want to crouch at the knees. It sounds as if that's what you might feel. Are you an authority? No, I'm the werewolf. It's the time of the year, you know. Well, man is a rather fleet-footed animal. Hunting animal equipped with all the necessary instincts. Now, we were out with the hunting parties for a whole week. Every night last week, Eric. Nothing.
A lot of men will never find out what it is.
Well, assuming the blasted thing is visible. Let's see it, at least. And when was the first man taken?
About 3 nights after we arrived at Freiburg.
What were you doing that night? I hadn't met you then, had I?
No. I think I was getting drunk, actually, with a lot of Germans we met in France.
Kyra drunk? No, she wasn't with me. She went to bed.
I've a plan, if you care to be part of it, Lewis. Listen, the first search party didn't drive this thing, whatever it is, away. They frightened the game away for miles around, and this thing merely took one of them. It'll come back just as surely as a man-eating lion comes back. And there's only one way to catch it. Bait. Oh, don't look so startled. You're a little overweight as it is. You make a most tempting bait. What are you going to do? Tie me to a tree and watch over me with a gun? That's about right. Although you needn't be tied up. And as the idea's mine, you can have first turn with the gun. You're not a bad shot, are you? No, well, good. Incidentally, Kyra mustn't know. Where shall we start operations? A rock? Good lookout place, I think so. Did you hear what I said? Kyra mustn't know. As far as she's concerned, we're going deer stalking at night. Should think we're going to shoot them when they're asleep. Let's work out some sort of plan.
The starting point of all their theories, and on it they placed the Watcher. From the top, there was a clear view of the path for 50 yards on either side. The Watcher was to take up his stand while covered by the ivy before sunset, and at a little before 10, the bait was to be on the path and within shot. He was to walk up and down, taking care never to step out of sight of the rock until midnight, when the party would break up. The difficulty was getting home. They had to go separately. They had to go separately in case they were observed.
I've left a note for Kyra, for the magistrate, just in case of accident.
They put the plan into operation. The first night, the second night. Kyra asked why they were suddenly obsessed with shooting deer and why, in fact, they brought no deer home. She asked no other questions, though. The third night arrived, and the plan was carried out as usual. Nothing happened. Then the fourth night, Eric Vaughan was on the rock with a little long-barreled .300. The moon came up. In the path in front of him was a ribbon of silver. Banning walked up and down. He smoked a cigar, and the tiny point of light was clearly visible. Vaughan kept the rifle trained a yard or two behind the other's head as he walked.
Something's happening. The forest's laid aside its business. It's watching, like us.
Vaughan looked away from the figure of Banning just for a moment. When his gaze returned to his friend, something white flickered away to the left of the bait. Eric Vaughan tightened his grip on the gun. A bulky object, it seemed to be, white and moving fast. It was closing in on Banning.
Kyra! Kyra, why on earth?
I was frightened. There was something following me back there. I know it.
Darling, but why? What are you doing? I almost shot you. How did you know I was here?
I didn't. I looked for you last night, too.
That brave girl, you mustn't. These woods...
I know what you're doing, but you've got to stop it.
I'm very safe, my dear, I promise. So, Louis, let me show you mine. The night before last. And why weren't we told about it? How didn't go down to the village, did we? 4 now. Vanished off the face of the earth. While we were at that blasted rock. Louis, do you realize? While we were there, Kyra was looking for us. She was looking for us in the forest. It might have been her instead of that poor beggar's son. I suppose if one's father disappears in the forest in the darkness and you're able-bodied and loved him, and then when the search parties fail, you have to go and see if you can find out what it was. He was taken too, by whatever the devil it is. You've got to continue, Eric. I know. Where, though? The rock. In the forest the size of this one. Any place is as good as another. And they've all disappeared in the radius around the rock. It's as good as anywhere else. It's my turn to debate.
Eric Vaughan could not have explained why he was nervous that night. The previous nights he had been apprehensive, yes, but not openly disturbed. At one point he heard Banning cough, and he knew that his friend had noticed his fear and was trying to reassure him. Time passed. The forest listened. To what? For what? Eric Vaughan had threatened his wife under pain of physical injury if she should even think of coming to look for her husband this night. She was safe. He felt safe enough with Banning watching. But he still could not contain the trembling that shook his body each and every time he stood still. Fate. The only thing moving was the moon. No wind. The night wore on.
Heavens, I'm sorry. 1 minute, nothing. And then the next, never mind. Whatever it was. You saved my life. Feels there's a lot of blood. Something was blasted. The size of it was grey. It was a wolf, but it stood up and it grabbed you like a man. Neck. Pains. Didn't go too deep. Don't worry you too much. But I hit it. I know I did. As it grabbed you, I fired and I saw it jerk, kick and jump and fall. It got up again. Eric, what's close? Come on. Just stay. You've got your revolver? Yes. I'll not even be out of sight. Dead leaves and the bracken, with arms outstretched, necks twisted grotesquely, and the hole the size of a man's fist in the white neck, was Kyra Vaughan. The Slavic eyes turned upward. They saw nothing. She was quite dead. Banning bit hard into his knuckles and tried to speak to whom he wasn't sure. What is it? Wolf? Huh?
That morning, Louis Banning had had the silversmith in Zweibergen make him a solid silver bullet.
Louis? Is everything all right?
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30.